Hello, this is Ryan Orsinger with an intro to web scraping using Python. Let's get started. Inside of the imports here, we're going to use the following libraries. The requests library for making HTTP requests across the web, pandas, and beautiful soup will be how we parse HTML. Web scraping is the process of reading raw data from the web and then parsing that data. And let's take a look at some data types you might already have seen: plain text, JSON, comma-separated values, and of course HTML for scraping. This example text is super plain. That's it. It's just text, no other code, no special characters, plain old text. So let's get in and let's make a GET request. We're going to make a response variable to hold the response coming back. Okay, so far so good. The response is 200. That means it's okay. And let's get the response text. This is the raw text as one single string, right? So this is the example text, new line character, new line character. Okay, so parsing this is really quite direct. Those new line characters, if we needed to do anything with them, we'd replace new line character with a space. Completely parsed and done. Let's talk about JSON. With JSON, we're going to show the raw result in the browser. Perfectly formed JSON with keys and values, keys and values. So let's redefine our response variable to hold the result of sending a GET request to that JSON URL. And then let's see what the status of that response is. 200, we're good. We communicated okay. And let's read the text on that response object. Okay, we have a string containing curly brace, new line character, space, 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 title, key, colon. We have the capability to manage this string and parse it ourselves. However, the response library gives us this, or this request library, rather, the request library gives us a JSON function that parses the JSON for us. And guess what this gives us back? This gives us back a data type in Python that is a native dictionary, which is awesome. It means we can get at those keys and those values and get exactly what we need. Let's keep going. With a CSV file, we can make a GET request to that CSV URL. And when we run that, we'll check our status. It's 200. We communicated okay. And then let's do response.text. Okay. We have a single string that holds title, comma, body, new line character, which means title and body are the columns in our comma-separated values. And then it looks like we have a couple entries here. Again, we can parse this manually. It's not impossible. Let's do this instead. Let's use pandas. Read CSV. And guess what pandas is going to do? Pandas is going to hit that endpoint or hit that URL for us, does all the parsing for us, and shows us that we have two records. This is an example CSV. Here's the body, how to automatically parse a CSV. Use pandas. So pandas makes things easy. The request library, JSON functions, makes things easy. And now is the part of the episode where we will scrape HTML. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to make a GET request to the URL that contains that HTML. We'll save that as a response object, and let's check the status. Good. Okay, we read that HTML. When we do response.text, that is one single string that holds all of the HTML and everything contained inside of it, all the language of HTML, potentially any JavaScript or CSS. There's a lot going on in here. When we look at this output, this actual HTML page, it's pretty simple. So how would we get at only the text, for example? Well, parsing all of this is kind of gnarly. The answer is soup. Beautiful soup. So let's take beautiful soup and we'll put that response text inside of it. Okay, so we have a soup object. The data type here is a beautiful soup object. This is a little more formatted. But what does this give us? Well, this gives us the opportunity. Right now we can say, give me just the text from the page. That's all the HTML, that's all of the text, not all the HTML, not all the CSS, not all those special characters in HTML, only the text. Bam, we just parsed it. That's the simple approach. How about something with a little more precision? What if we want to focus on this anchor tag right here? Anchor tags are how we make links. Here's how we would do that. We would say, hey soup, use find. Let's find that anchor tag. Okay, cool. All right, well that's an anchor tag, and we don't need the angle brackets, la 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 la. We only want this href. Here's the really cool part. What you do is you treat that beautiful soup element like a dictionary, and we put the href as the attribute. Attributes explain and modify HTML elements, and there we have a string that contains the destination. What if we wanted to find out about the H1, the heading? The heading is this first, that largest, most bold text is usually your heading. This is an example web page. This is a beautiful soup HTML element, so we can ask the text from that. What if we need to find multiple elements? For example, there are multiple paragraph tags here, or multiple H2s, for example. Well, the method there is not find, but find all, and the H2s, we have a set, a result set of H2s. Looks like a list, works like a list. You can operate it like a list. So we can ask for the last one on this list. Best way to parse HTML. That's an H2 element. That's this content right here. We don't need the H2 tags. We only need the text, and we're good. So folks, thanks so much for joining me. There is no substitute for checking out the beautiful soup docs. This was an introduction to web scraping with Python. My name is Ryan Orsinger. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.